was looking for a book, one with a good moral point, one with dynamic characters, one that got exciting and drew you in. I found The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, and that's exactly what happened. It drew me in. I found myself standing in an ornate artist studio with 3 men. Somehow, they didn't notice me, but I knew who they were. The incredibly handsome one by the piano was Mr. Dorian Gray. He was the favorite painting subject of Basil Hallward, the man in the chair next to him. The man in the other chair was Lord Henry Wotton, known by his friends as Harry. Harry has some wacko morals, and unfortunately a good chunk of the book is his blabbering on about how beauty is all that matters, intellect is pointless, and that indulging in one's own sinful desires will be the true fulfilling of one's life. Dorian is still young and innocent, and Harry shares this immoral worldview with him. At the end of the day, when Basil has finished his masterpiece of Dorian, Dorian has a fit and wishes he could stay beautiful forever, and that the picture would change instead of him. Little does he know that this is the worst wish of his life. Dorian goes to a small theater and falls in love with the apparently gorgeous, talented actress Sybil Vane, who strangely looks like me. Anyway, he introduces himself as Prince Charming and engages her. When he brings Harry and Basil to see her, she acts horribly, and Dorian is repulsed by her. She said she did it so she wouldn't have to act anymore, but Dorian leaves her. The next morning, he felt bad about it, but finds out she's committed suicide. This is when he first sees the painting change. He has a more cruel look. Not wanting anyone to find out, Dorian covers it and has it moved to a little room in his house where he played as a boy, and he takes the only key from his housekeeper. Years pass, and Dorian looks as good as ever. People hear awful things about him and wonder about his secret, but they can't help but deny all ills when they see his innocent face. One night, Dorian runs into Basil. After going back to Dorian's house, Basil tells them that he wants to exhibit Dorian's picture in Paris. Dorian refuses intensely. When Basil begs to see the picture once more before he leaves for Paris, Dorian madly accepts and takes Basil upstairs to see the portrait. Basil is in shock and tells Dorian that he must repent. Angered, Dorian kills Basil. He hides Basil's things and blackmails an old friend, Alan Campbell the scientist, to get rid of the body. The next night, Dorian goes to an opium house in disguise. A lady calls him Prince Charming, and when he leaves, he's attacked by an older man who claims he broke his sister's heart. This is James Vane, who said he'd kill Dorian, who he only knew as Prince Charming if he ever broke Sybil's heart. Dorian fools him with his youthfulness and gets away, before the drug lady tells him that Dorian doesn't age. Dorian goes to hang out at his country house, Selby Royal, and faints after seeing James watching from a distance. While hunting, one of Dorian's friends accidentally shoots a servant in the bushes, who Dorian later finds out is James. Without this weight, Dorian returns home and later tells Harry that he's starting to be good. Harry, of course, rejects this. Dorian, feeling like this is the painting's fault, goes upstairs and stabs the disfigured, bloody man in the painting. Suddenly, Dorian is dead and is transformed into the man, while the picture is transformed into its original state. The main lesson in the book is that beauty is not worth everything. This is evident in how it corrupted Dorian and took things from him. Dorian led a very sinful life, and it took his innocence and joy. His obsession also cost him much money, as he would buy art, clothing, jewels, perfumes, and musical instruments frivolously. Finally, Dorian's sins and pride cost him good friends, and eventually his life. His desire for beauty took away his soul and all his goodness. While this book had a good moral point, I wouldn't recommend it to most people. I was nearly driven mad by Harry's spiels about morals, and the book only got exciting toward the end. I thoroughly enjoyed the book from Basil's death on, but the beginning almost ruined the whole book for me. However, if you can be patient, this book is worth reading. Although it can be tough to get through, The Picture of Dorian Gray is an exciting book with a great moral point. Remember that no matter how beautiful you may be, it's not worth everything, including your soul.